Let's see, am I live? I'm live. Ooh, wow, look at that. The lighting's it looked a little bit better in the preview. Good morning. Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm kind of moving a little bit slow. It's uh, it's 6. I've been up for 6 a.m. Been up for 3 hours. I've got a lot of work to do, and I think I've listened to every song on the internet. So I thought while I was doing some work here, I'd just go ahead and do a live stream and multitask. And then the people that are interested in seeing what I do, one of the things I do, or if you want to ask some questions, actually here, let's see. I'm sure there's nobody here. I'm going to go to my videos. Let's see, how do I go to this live? It's not live, so I'll mute it. Okay, now if okay, here I can see the top chat. Yeah, can't hear me. Okay. Ooh, you know what? I thought about putting my setting my microphone up. Hmm. Okay, so here's maybe what I should do. Yeah, there's no turn up your volume actually on this thing. Let's see. Maybe, I don't know, did that work? All right, well, we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll just try to talk a little bit louder. Should be on here for a little while. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, well, hardly anybody's here, so take a second to get set up here. I thought I was. All right, check 1 2, check 1 2. Can you hear me okay? Check 1 2. All right. Anyway, so what I'm doing this morning is working. This is just one part of listing hats and hats around the world. Some people were asking. I was kind of looking for something to do to multitask here, and it'll be interesting to see how much I can focus on this and try to talk to you guys and answer some questions and try not to misspeak. Let's see. Better. Okay, good. Good. Okay, well, whoever can't hear me, you're going to have to turn your volume up, I guess. As a matter of fact. This needs to go back here. That one. Let's see how that works. Okay. So what's everybody doing this morning? Anybody have any new news, questions, anything like that that you may want to talk about? I don't know if anybody's been. I'm gonna change this a little bit. Watching any news lately? Researching any news? going on in the way of there's people being removed from positions left and right now. Let's see. When did I first know I was gang stalked? Uh, I learned in April of 2017. April of 2017 is when I learned what gang stalking was. I started researching, and I found Karen Milton Stewart. I started researching some of the things that were happening to me. I found Karen Milton Stewart, and she was explaining basically exactly what was happening in my life. And I was like, well, okay, this lady worked for the NSA. This is happening to her. I've talked about a lot of stuff that possibly could have got some people angry with me. I'm going through something. And I knew that there was no way possible that um, what I was going through. Yeah, see, I knew I was gonna have a tough time. Was organic. Like it was. There's no way that was a possibility. So I had to figure something out. Hmm. Let's see. So yeah, that was April 2017. Let's see here. Yeah, do I hunt them? No, I don't hunt anyone down. I just do journalism to document what's going on, and I work all day. And yeah, that's really it. Yeah, I'm sorry if you can't hear me very well. Just you're gonna need to turn your volume up. I just have my iPhone, and I don't know. Sometimes what I do, I have an external speaker, and if I can't hear somebody's podcast, YouTube channel, whatever, I'll just plug my phone into the external speaker. You can go in for like $5 at the swap meet, and then just turn that up, and then you can hear it if it's really low. So, because I don't want to sit here and yell. And the volume could be being hacked or something. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? This police officer at court I was talking to, he was like, well, people that are good with computers like you. And I was like, man, if I was good with computers, I'd be able to get this spyware off my phone and all this different. No. I know how to make websites, like graphics, stuff like that. Let's see. This Eric Mosley asked me if I've lost weight. Yeah, I actually at one time when I was in the military, I weighed 200 pounds. I still haven't got one hat done yet, so maybe this isn't a good idea to do this multitasking thing. But I don't know. I'll try. I'll try. I'll just have a camera in my hand to, to keep myself occupied. But yeah, I've lost weight. I've weighed almost 200 pounds one time. I usually be around like 170, 180. Right now I weigh about 145, which is like the least I've weighed. But I don't have, I have to cook for myself. I'm not the greatest chef. I've usually always had a mate, a person, my wife would always make food. So transitioning from that, well, yeah, and stress, your cortisol levels being raised for years, that, well, it eats away muscle eventually. Um, yeah, the stress just breaks down your body. There's other things too. Who knows all what it is, but a lot of it's stress. Yes, Karen is a very smart lady. I turned the volume all the way up on my phone. Uh, Somebody said lots of hats, man. Yeah, we have. So in this store, we have over 17,000 different individual items that that are available on eBay right now. I'm up early right now. It's really long story, but this store's been sabotaged. It's it's been tough to keep it going. I'll just say that much. Um, but yeah, a lot of people, mostly trolls, will come on the channel and say something like, "You look strung out. You need to eat." You know, I don't know if these people maybe have never had to try to run a business before, or and be targeted at the same time and go through all this crazy stuff, and see what that does to their body. But it's yeah, real. Some of them know. Some of them know exactly what's going on, and then they'll just say that to be a narcissist, you know, and just be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna rub it in. I'm gonna rub it in. I'm gonna twist the knife." That's kind of how those people operate. But then some people just are arrogant and think like, "Oh, just deal with it. You don't even know. You're just silly," you know, something like that. That kind of attitude, you know, when they really have um, the know-it-all attitude, what you've been through. Um, let's see. As far as health issues, yeah, the entire month I've felt like I'm pretty much gonna die all day. Really, I feel like I've some days I'll take like 2 naps. I'll just lay down and sleep for 45 minutes just because I feel like I'm gonna pass out. So do that, get up, work some more, do what I can, play some music at the end of the night, um, try to go do a couple things to try to keep my morale up. You know, that was the thing in the military. There was we got to do things to keep morale up. You know, so they'd have like a show for everybody, um, or give somebody like a half a day off or something like that. That means everybody is pissed at what's going on. They're worn out. Um, so when you run your own business, you have to do that for yourself. You just have to be like, all right, morale day. We go play some Call of Duty. Go play my ukulele for a little bit. I'm gonna go to this free show down the street, and then realize that it's Smash Mouth, stuff like that. You got to do stuff like that for your own morale. So that's what I've been doing. Other than that, these hats. Yeah, I think I've got about, let's see. Uh, I don't want to move my camera, but we're over here. I'd say there's like 7 or 8. No, I don't want to over. Let's see, 600 hats that I need to photograph and list that are sitting here on the ground. And then my son's got about 500, I think, in Minnesota. When he gets done with those, he'll ship those to me. And I really need somebody to. Actually, I'd hire somebody to do this right here. What I'm doing. Being targeted is really tough. I do a Craigslist ad. You know, they can hack it. We actually had that experience. I hired a perp when my wife still lived here, my ex-wife, and it was here. I'm just going to talk about a coincidence. This is just a coincidence. Everybody can think about this on their own. So I'm a big fan of trivia. I like to go to trivia night. We used to do like the group pub quiz and stuff like that, and we'd usually win a gift card or to just win whatever the prize was. Do pretty good, and that's always been a thing. So I almost think that this girl that worked for us had a fake name, or the coincidence, the odds were astronomical that her name was. You have to listen to the rest of the story. It was Trivia Mariano. Mariano. You have to listen to a lot of people's fake names. They throw in like what's going on. So, but she was. We hired her. I can't remember how long she worked for us. But then that was like right before my wife left. Right before she Mariano'd. uh, so Trivia Mariano. But yeah, those two both actually. It was all three of us doing this whole business together. So I need somebody to take Trivia's place that doesn't have some kind of fake name, was trying to like doing photos of these and then like missing a few on purpose, or taking a few home at the end of the day, or mislabeling it intentionally. So I would get the little hint that it was done intentionally after she was gone. Yeah, I need somebody that won't do that. Let's see. Oh, okay, wait. This comment right here, it said, "Do you hunt them down?" I thought he was talking about gang stalkers. they, I thought they were talking about gang stalkers. I think you were referring to the hats. I apologize. Hats off to me. Good one. That was punny. Uh, I have for I don't know how many years, long time, gone to garage sales, estate sales, uh, auctions, storage unit auctions, um, thrift shops, all over the place. Like you could go nonstop every single day, Monday through Friday. If you make a list of all of those things I just mentioned, you could go out every single day. You could take $100 and then be really patient. Find something for $5 that you can sell for 100, and then just keep doing that um, every single day, and then have somebody to list it on eBay. You could make a living. Uh, it just takes a few people. I mean, you can do it on your own. You just do small stuff. You don't do this. Don't do this. Actually, I mean, if you want to, if you like torture, if you want to torture yourself, do what I'm doing right now, and try to do a live stream while you're doing it too. Jeez, I've done one hat. All right. Okay, I'm just reading the comments here and not doing my work. All right. Well, let's see. I've only been on here 15 minutes. All right. Well, I can do this for like an hour, even if I procrastinate and don't get this done. I'm gonna do this the rest of the day, and I have to go file some things. And what's going on, Willis? How's my dog gown, Michael, going? My dog going? How's my dog? He's back here barking. It's something. I'm gonna go check it out actually. Fly guy Derek said you should have let your hair grow. If I did, I'd look like Gallagher, the comedian, or like George Jefferson from Moving On Up, Friar Tuck. All right, yeah, mine's gone. It's Yeah. See that? Look at, if I let it grow out, I'd look like a I don't know. I'd look like that dude that just got connected to Nexium, the lead scientist. Check out Amazing Polly. Thank you for making me think of that, by the way, and reminding me to not let my hair grow out to look like that guy. Uh, Go to Amazing Polly. Go to her YouTube channel and look up the Nexium information she talks about. That lady can connect some dots like nobody's business, man. It's pretty interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go check this out real quick. Actually, damn, dude, doing a live stream in the morning is not the best idea. There's hardly anybody here. Oh, actually, there's 30 people here. I didn't even look. Good morning, everyone. How you doing? I look like hell. Uh, I'm taking a shower this morning. Just got up, started working, and decided to put my face on the internet where anyone in the world can see me. Uh, be careful you have in your house. What? Okay, so the to get to hats around the world, it's an eBay store. So just go to Google and type in hats around the world, all one word. I'll just spell it out real quick for anyone. HATSAROUNDTHEWORLD, and then just space, type in eBay, and enter, and it usually will be the first link. And you can just search through the store. There's categories, uh, but you can do a search in the store and just search for what you're looking for, or just go through them. There's 17,000, almost 17,200 items in our store right now. We usually ship out 5 to 700. Nah, it's like 350 to 700 something. I think we've shipped out almost 800 one month. I don't remember, but it was a lot. So it keeps pretty busy if there's enough people to do this. And really, if you try to do this on your own, you will go insane trying to do all of this 100% of the time, because it's like a 24-hour day thing. That's I love puns or like stupid dad jokes like that. I think they're hilarious. Hats off to you, Michael. I have thousands of hats behind me. Oh man, thanks. Oh yeah, somebody said Dr. Katherine Horton is very good advice. Actually, I need to mention something about her. The last the last interview I did on the Barden report was with her, and right when I did that interview, I got like some whiplash from some of the people in the TI community, and I was like, oh, there's some infighting going on, and that's why I try not to join too many groups, because that shit always happens. But I think she's really smart. I mean, she worked at CERN. She doesn't anymore. She's targeted. I kind of might tell you a little bit. There's a dot to connect. Um, she actually, Catherine, if you happen to see this, I am so sorry that I have not responded to you. If you messaged me, I haven't even got on my email really. I've been just trying to do this and try to keep my morale up, basically, not overdoing all this. But anyway, Catherine had a friend send me an RFID detector. EM, oh God, it's too early for me to even remember. See, this is why I don't talk about all the tech stuff. The anyway, the little radio thing to check for chips in my head. I turn it on in this house, and it just goes. So, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong with it. I need to contact them, and actually, I need to do that, and I need to get that back to the people that sent it to me. So I apologize for taking so long. I hope you guys understand. I'm sure you do if you targeted crazy stuff happens. Yeah, Tanya Bauer said if she lived near here, she loves taking pictures. You know, I love taking pictures too. It's one of the things they say your life flashes before you when you die. One of the things I will remember is some of the photography that I've done. Part of that will not be doing this. I won't. One of my fond memories won't be of taking photographs of baseball caps. Some of these are cool. I like them, and it makes me happy when somebody finds one that they're like, man, had this in high school. It's been 25 years. I'm looking for this. Thank you so much. That part is cool. I like that. But taking photos of 200 hats, like 7, 8 photos each, do the math, and then basically data entry after that every day, 4 years, it it kind of gets a little bit draining. Uh, so be careful what you wish for getting a job doing photography. It's not all rock concerts and all that. Taking pictures of fighter jets. Dude, you do that. Go do that. I mean, yeah, go take pictures of what you like. If you like rocks and trees, take pictures of those. That's what my old college photography instructor. He was like, "Oh, you rocks and trees people over here. Yeah, y'all like take pictures of rocks and trees." He was like more of a photojournalist. He's the guy that actually told me that photojournalism saved children from child labor. The early photography, photojournalist went into all of these factories and found out that they were using little kids to make soccer balls or whatever that that goes on in a bunch of places now, but making clothes, making different stuff like that. And this photojournalist was like, I'm gonna get in that place with a camera. I'm gonna take pictures of this and put it in the newspaper. When people see this, they're gonna lose their shit. And guess what happened? They abolished child slavery, pretty much. So, well, you have to get a work permit now. You have to be 15 and a half because of that guy. Unless you work for your parents. I had to verify. All right. Checking the messages here. Yeah, plus people are saying that people are saying I look pretty messed up. I'm 44 years old. I spent a lot of time in Fresno, California, and Phoenix, Arizona. Just a little bit of time over in the Middle East, not enough to really count. But I've been under the sun a lot in my life. I've been through a lot of stress. I've been through. I should be dead actually. I shouldn't even be alive. So me just sitting here talking, I'm doing good. So if I look like uh, I can't think of somebody funny to refer myself to. Uncle Fester. I don't know. If I'm standing right now. Let's see. I was looking at my watch like there's a date on it. I couldn't afford that one. I was like, I'm gonna have to take the one with the three hands. The one with the five hands. That one's above my pay grade. I'm still on number this second hat here. This is not possible for me to do this. To do you have to try things. In a business, you just try things, try it out, see how it goes. I got a buddy that works for a winery. Talk to him. I need to call him. Uh, by the way, Mike, sorry man, I haven't called you back. But he just talks about how every single day he's just like working in the smallest detail. He's dealing with like millions of gallons of wine and all kinds of different stuff. Uh, just dialing it in every day, every day, every day, and then some things you try and you go, oh, that was not a good idea. Let's do this. So this is like one of those things. I think it's turning out to be kind of a what's up with the sheriff star? Is it a sheriff star? Is that a? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's a Jewish. What do you call that thing? Or that symbol? Sorry. What do you call that? I'm not. I'm not super into religion. People seem to fight over it a lot. Like a bunch of the people I watch on like YouTube channels and some of the people that I like that are public speakers are Jews. I'm like, I don't know, Ben Shapiro. I don't know, buddy Jason. He's Jewish. I don't think he's like super like he doesn't wear yarmulke like Ben Shapiro. But who else? I don't know. Howard Stern. God, man, I should make a list before I said that. Well, I can't make a list of Jewish people I like. Somebody like cross out people I like and people would write like dislike or something like that, and then they try to. Uh, have I turned my life, my troubles over to Jesus? I don't. I don't. I say Jesus sometimes, but I pretty much when I pray, I just pray to God in general. Um, I can't be that specific. There's thousands of religions. Like just the people here in the feed, whatever you call this thing, the chat. there's probably 5 different religions, and some people that don't have one. Uh, so I don't know. I live my life a lot like a Christian would. I just don't want. I don't know if I can dial it into one. I don't want to talk about religion right now. Good try. I have a Bible. I went to private Christian school when I was a kid, all the way through third grade. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest experience. The really good. Fuck. I've been listening to Bill Burr a lot. I'm sorry. not trying to sound like Bill Burr. Uh, but it wasn't the greatest experience. Um, so not all religion is great. Being spiritual is. It's early. It's 6:30 still here. I've been up for about 4 hours. No, 3.5. I'm reading the. Let's see. Oh, this person said, "Don't think of it as abuse. Uh, it a 24-hour live entertainment. I smile and laugh." Okay, well, I actually, yeah, good point. I look at it both ways. Still haven't finished the second hat here. I look at it both ways. So, like, I look at it as abuse, not only abuse, but human trafficking violation, human rights violation, constitutional violation of like half of the Constitution, federal codes, all this different stuff. But also at the same time, I know that I'm stuck in it, so I just do sometimes. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm laughing right now. I'm about to possibly lose my business. That's why I'm going to check out here in a little bit. Um, that all kinds of stuff could go really bad. But I'm still trying to joke and laugh. There's a movie called Unbroken about World War II in Japanese internment camp, and the guy never loses his sense of humor. That's a really good one. If you're going through this or just anything in general that sucks that you're trying to get through, watch that movie Unbroken. Like it's like no, I don't even want to use that metaphor. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I don't know how people do a 2 hour podcast. I'm the guy you don't want to take with me on a road trip. Uh, yes, I did wash my hands. Who wants a hat with piss on the hat? Speaking of, for anybody that's, let's see, how many people are here? Oh, wow, okay, about 40, awesome. Good morning, everyone. Speaking about piss, the 144th Fighter Wing, the base that I worked at, I signed up into the Air Force. I worked for 15 years. There's articles all over the internet. Just Google 144th Fighter Wing scandal. And one of the things they tried to focus on was this Sergeant Pineda got her boots urinated in. And that's a type of like intimidation, harassment tactic that is a really, it's a, I think somebody's called it a sex crime, which that's by pushing it. That doesn't have anything to do with sex unless you're kind of, well, I'm not going to comment on what you do with your, anyway, there's way more to it than that, and it goes way back. And a bunch of the people that I worked with directly, I was in the fire department, so I was always working with F-16 pilots. Always. Everywhere we went, F-16 pilots. I left the fire department, I went into public affairs. I had a camera. Guess what I was taking photos of? F-16 pilots. So for 15 years, I worked with all these guys, did stories on these guys, did video, interviewed them, uh, worked with them directly on their jets, like pulling pins out of the jet, pulling pilots out of the jet. I knew all of these guys. They just recently got fired. They were fired for retaliation of whistleblowers targeting them. I don't know how far that goes, but I know what's happened to me. Don't think it my targeting originated there, but it did get worse there, and it did take part there. So I'm really happy that there's some articles out in the LA Times, Air Force Times, Military Now, PBS, on and on and on and on and on. I think there's going to be some more people. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some more people at the fighter wing. They're saying there's like deep state panic right now. There's some people at the fighter wing that are just going, oh, damn it, damn it, damn it. And then there's some of the good guys that are still there that stuck it out that are just like, oh, I'm going to be a master sergeant real soon. We're going to get this. Not to say that place isn't running good. It's always ran well functionally, like operational readiness inspections, operational readiness exercises. We've always done well at that base, and I was proud to work there. So I'm not putting the base down. I'm talking about some of the leadership that was involved in this targeting program. But no, I love, and somebody asked me the other day, I could be working while I'm doing this. I forgot where I left off on this. I'll just do this one over. Actually, I can just check my hand. Yeah, anyways, somebody asked me why I was wearing an Air Force hat when the Air Force is responsible for targeting, and my response is things are compartmentalized. I was in for 15 years. I had no idea that organized stalking and harassment took place. I worked in the fire department, but see, I wasn't out on the street in the town all the time. We were on the airport property, so it would be easy for me to not know that they're running skits on citizens, you know. And plus, a lot of this stuff is really subtle. I need to move this up. All right, my background. Oh man. All right. I'm getting a fail on my photos here because I messed up my backdrop, so I'd be able to see be able to fit in the frame here. All right. Let's just do this. Let's see, this person says, not too familiar with your story, but I can see you have your own business. How is it like operating under your predicaments? It's been hell, really. Really, it was there was three of us doing this. Um, it was okay then, and we were making progress and and growing. And then when the major wave or wall hit, and you would have to, for you to understand that terminology, you'd have to go back and understand targeting and the long term of how that works. Um, so anyway, right after that happened, when that happened, my wife, my ex-wife now, left and fired the employee at the same time. My son moved out from California after a few months, I believe. Uh, after I don't remember how long it was really. My timeline's kind of messed up. My son moved out here from California, helped me for a couple of years. He just moved to Minnesota, so um, that it's just tough doing this on your own. But to answer your question a little more technically, it's almost impossible because they find a way to slowly use their network to chip away at your business in a covert fashion, to where transactions take more time than they need to. There will be returns, false returns. There will be a bunch of non-organic interactions in the store that I'm basically notified through they'll have like a fake username, or it'll have to do something with like a conversation I was just having the day before, and then there'll be like a couple identifiers in the user's profile that will let me know, hey, we're harassing you right now. Hey, I want to return on this hat. There's one stitch missing on the inside of the tag, and it, they won't get the return, but it takes up a bunch of time. I have to talk to eBay and all this different stuff. And eBay's getting wise to it. There's people that I'm sure that are tracking what's going on with the store, because it's a huge. Actually, what's going on? It's a lot more in depth than that, but it is almost impossible to run this business while being targeted. I'll just leave that at that. It's really tough. It's hard to hire somebody. I said I'd leave it at that, and I keep talking about it. It's hard to hire somebody that you can trust that won't mess things up. They can mess up the smallest thing, and it throws you off by an hour, because with this many items, you have to keep things pretty organized and detailed. So when that doesn't happen, or somebody intentionally moves some items around, say you're looking for, here, I'll just give you an example. Say I'm looking for one of these hats that sells. It's this one. Black, text only, strap back. There's only 2 rows of text only strap back on the top row, on the top shelf. I go look through those, it's not there. I'm like, why is it not there? Okay, well, it says motor cars, so I'm gonna look in auto. That's probably more likely. Look in auto. Nope, wasn't there either. I'm like, okay, I can't find that one. What is going on? Finally, after like a week and a half, 2 weeks of it just sitting there, letting the person know, I'm sorry, I couldn't find this hat. Can I offer you a credit in our store so I don't have to take the return? No, I just want the refund. I want the money back. The day after, this happens all the time, The day after I return the money, somebody will purchase a different hat, completely different color. The hat that I've been missing for 2 weeks, that I'm just like, okay, finally, I'm gonna give this person a refund, whatever. They'll order like a pink hat. I don't know, pink cancer hat. Can't walk for cancer hat. And then in the middle of the pink row is this black hat that not any rational person in the world would put in that row. But it's the timing. So like they'll do that. So it's just over and over, over and over. So and also on top of it ruining my store, it lets me know that somebody has gotten into my house. So, I mean, it's happened too many times for it to just be like, oh, that was a coincidence. But thank you for asking. It's been, yeah, I haven't been able to really. Yeah, I've had other businesses sabotage too. Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened. Okay, I'm still reading some comments here. Got a little bit of time left, and then I need to turn this off and then focus on what I'm doing. I just want to answer anyone's questions. Someone said 44, you look younger. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, not that I care. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. Some guys when they get older, I don't know. It's not happening to me too much. Some guys when they get older, they get better looking. I'm but like I've heard girls, women in their 20s when I was younger say like, "Oh man, Clint Eastwood's hot. He's good looking." Yeah, he's it would. I don't. Anyway. Oh, Nicola George, hi. How you doing? Yeah, I mean, I'm okay right now. I can smile a little bit. A little worried. A little worried about some things that are going on. Just doing my best to work through it. Oh, okay. So that's called the Star of David. All right, I remember that now. Readings. Okay. All right. So I'm just reading through some of these comments here. Let's see. This one right here says I subscribed to you just a couple weeks ago. Very interesting. Wonder if you are aware of who's responsible for it and why. It's a really long story. Possibly started when I was before I even have memories. It has to do with long-term trauma-based mind control, like MK Ultra type program or something like that. But I've gone through non-organic traumatic events throughout my entire life. Now that I understand how these operations work and what trauma-based mind control is and how they will use somebody that might test high on an IQ test to try to create dissociative identity disorder to use that person as a tool, manipulate them to use them as a tool for their own personal gain. It's happened all the time. It happens way more than people I think would like to even know. Listen to Kathy O'Brien. Just search Kathy O'Brien MK Ultra. Uh, she went through this, and when people talk about dissociative identity disorder, I just watched this movie Split. I talked to these people. Okay, here's kind of a funny story. I thought it was. I talked to these people at this barbecue place that I go to. Yeah, it's called Just Wings. Um, it's a family that runs it, and I I like these people. I shouldn't even say it live on my show here because they'll go in there and tell them I'm some kind of creep. They probably already have. But anyway, I go and I talk to these people and I just don't just get my food and leave. I'll stay and talk for 20, 30 minutes sometimes, and we'll just share information. There's one guy in there that's woke AF. He knows. He was like finishing my sentences when I was talking about some of the stuff. I was like, damn, dude, you know what's up? You want to do an interview? Uh, but anyway, we're talking about this stuff, and I talked about dissociative identity disorder and how I have gone through this, and I've had to deprogram myself from certain things that they tried to program me um, with over the years. And they said, "Have you seen that movie Split?" And I was like, "No," because I like watching a lot of these movies now that I understand how this stuff works, and I like to watch the movie and kind of see if it's projecting or signaling of what's actually already going on, or if it's somebody's imagination, because there's both that are out there. Um, but I go, "No, I haven't seen it." And they're like, "Yeah, it's about what you're talking about." And then they said this guy has these different personalities. I go, "That's dissociative identity disorder." And I was like, "That's what I went through. That's what I'm trying to deprogram myself from that right now." And I hadn't seen the movie yet, so I go home and I rent the movie and I watch it, and it's this guy that completely turns from, like, he's like this Nazi stern janitor type guy that's like focused on detail, and he's got glasses, and then he turns into like a third grader, and he's like, "I like playing with blocks." So I'm watching this movie, and as I'm watching the movie, I'm picturing the lady, because the way she was looking at me when I was like, "That's what I went through." She was looking at me like, "Oh my god!" And she's a nice lady. I like her. Her and her husband are awesome. But she's looking at me like, "Oh my god, are you gonna like turn into like some like you gonna start like walking around the store like, Daddy, I want a candy bar." I even thought of picking up the phone and calling him, going, "Hey, I'm watching this movie right now. I don't turn into like all these different. It's different. It's different than that." Um, at least in my experience, I'm. It's possible that there are people. I don't know. I've never met anybody that actually turns into literally different characters and stuff like that. Like, I've lived a lot of different places. I've I know I go off on tangents. I'm probably forgetting some, but I've lived a lot of different places. I like a lot of different things. My palette is diverse. I mean, I like country music. I like hip hop. I reggae. I like metal. I like all kinds of different music. I like all kinds of different food. I like all kinds of different cultures. And some days I kind of switch it up. And some people will try to call that dissociative identity disorder when basically you just are interested in a lot of things. Um, so some people will get that mixed up. The dissociative identity disorder is when they build alters in you to where there's certain like lifestyles that you want to pursue and you don't know why and doesn't feel normal, or you have reactions like outrage towards certain things that you've been triggered to. If this one particular thing has happened to you, 100,000 times in your life, and you've done your best to ignore it, and that last time you just like lose it, that's kind of creating a trigger in you for that. You wouldn't normally have that outrage or that reaction if that trigger hadn't been created in you. So that's the deprogramming. That is what I'm talking about. Man, if somebody actually figured out a way to turn somebody into, I know it happens. I know it happens. One of the things they talk about is this is one of the scary things. One of the things that they talk about is how MK Ultra victims or patsies, um, people that are used for this, my labs, or there's so many different words, super soldiers. They talk about how they can trigger you to like wake you up in the middle of the night, go carry out whatever task it is you've been trained to do, and then come back, go to sleep, and you don't even know what happened. You just wake up the next day and you feel like crap. So sometimes I think about that. I wake up and I'm like, hey, I slept 10 hours. Why do I feel like crap? Was I out, like doing Mission Impossible or some crap last night in the middle of my sleep? But, then that just starts to sound like some ridiculous movie. And, you know, so, but you kind of think about that stuff when, when you hear proven cases of that kind of thing happening, Uh, I think my daughter just went to school and didn't say bye. I think she was afraid. She didn't want to bother me. Damn. All right. Well, I better call her in a minute. Okay. Reading some more comments here. Jeez, there's a lot of how many people are There's 50 people here. There are 50 people here watching me. I almost said watching me work. I'm not doing shit. Reading your comments and talking. Okay, I think I've got about 10 more minutes here to read these comments and ramble on and go off on tangents, answer questions. Oh, this one says, "Keep smiling, and when you get spare time, read Revelations in the New Testament. I think you'll relate to what's to come. Have a blessed day." I I don't. I try not to be an the end of times kind of person, but things are out of control right now. Like I said, I'm 44 years old. I've never. I keep looking at my damn watch, like I have a calendar on there. Uh, I've never seen anything like this at all. That's another thing too that I just thought of. A lot of people. I noticed. I was watching Amazing Polly, this show that is great. Talked about it just a little bit earlier. But she sits in the front of the camera. She has these beautiful blue eyes, and she just looks right into the camera the whole time. And I was like, man, this lady is smart and confident, and she knows to keep eye contact the whole time. Through this whole thing that I've gone through, I some for some reason have a hard time doing this. If I'm just looking straight at the camera for that long, it makes me, I don't know. Same thing with in conversations. People have conversations; they'll just stare at you. It's like see who see who's gonna break eye contact first. And I get, I don't know. Uh, who knows what that's from? Some people will say, well, nobody. When somebody's lying to you, they won't look you in the eye. So that's when I'm telling somebody when I'm in a conversation with somebody where I have to explain my case. Now I have to force myself to just like stare in their face while I'm telling them this story and still process all the information, even though it works better if I'm like, okay, gotta think of the information that I need to say. Yeah, Kathy O'Brien, man, that lady she's tough. Have I woken up in strange places or times, hours you're unable to recall? I've never woken up in strange places as far as like I didn't fall asleep here. Why am I here? Um, I was in Florida on a TDY in Tyndall, and I ended up going with my wingman. He was trying to get some tail, so I went with him, and I realized I was in a bad situation, and I was like, dude, I'm out of here. So I started walking. I realized I was like an hour away. I don't know. We were way further than I thought from our hotel. So I ended up sleeping under a tractor that night. So that was a weird place, but I put myself there. Uh, so no, my son did wake up one morning. One morning we hung out with the next door neighbors. They had a big party with the pinata and the whole family. There was like 100 people over there. I still didn't know that they were like bad guys really. Um, they invited us over for food. When we went over, a lot of times when they make the food, they'll just have the food out and you just get some in big families. You know what I'm talking about. So we get there, there's no food. There's no food. They've got it all like back in the kitchen, and they're doing plates, serving plates. And that might be because there's only a certain amount of food, and they want to make sure that there's enough for everybody, and I get that. But we got handed a plate. We didn't get to put our food on our plate. We go, here you go, here you go. And that next morning, my son woke up, and he was like, I was laying on the floor in my closet, and the door was shut this morning. And we drank some beer with those guys, but not to the point where I think my son would have got up and thought he was going to the bathroom and slept on the ground. So that one was kind of odd. Who knows? Maybe he did. You know, people sleepwalk. Um, but I've definitely, yeah. I'll just stop on that one. All right. Let's see. David Crowley, Gray State. I have not heard of that person. Oh wait, Gray State, the movie he was making. Uh, is he the young man that was? He was either Army or Marine Corps, I believe. And Gray State, the movie that he was working on was about the deep state, basically. And he, let's see, his wife, his little baby girl, and himself were murdered in his house in the middle of that movie. Let's see here. With the people, whoever's just showing up, good morning. I know it's early. Am I a born again Christian? Why is everybody so? What if I said I was Jewish, like my buddy? What if I was like, no, I'm Jewish? Would you be like, oh, I'm out of here? Like, I don't even know what they're. I understand what the Christian faith believes. I've read the Bible, I've gone through uh, confirmation in the Lutheran Church, done the whole thing. Got a Bible downstairs in my drawer, uh, my where I sit down and read. You know, uh, a lady gave me a. I was at court one day, and I was um, I was giving Jerome Corsi some praise. I was like, Jerome Corsi, go about his book, everything. You know, I liked what he was doing. I didn't care what his religion was. Yeah, but some lady, I was down by court, and this lady had. I don't want to call her a gang stalker, but she did have some information about me ahead of time. But she was real nice, had a good conversation. She was like really positive. She gave me a rosary. It was like this really nice metal rosary. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Thanks for letting me check that out. And I tried to give it back to her. She was like, no, this is for you. I wanted it. And then she like prayed over it and gave it to me. And I was like, oh, okay. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. You know, I got like warm, fuzzy feeling. I kept it. You know, I didn't throw it away or anything. But I, yeah, I don't. I mean, we know a lot of this leads back to the Vatican. That doesn't mean. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, I think there might be good organizations that went bad a long time ago and morphed into not good, technically speaking. Iodine detox. Okay, yeah, I'll do some detox. 33rd parallel. Daniel, for the what part of the 33rd parallel are you on? We're in Phoenix. We're on the 33rd parallel here, which there's a lot of interesting stuff about the 33rd parallel. If you folks haven't gone down that rabbit hole, that's I learned that when I was in Norman, Oklahoma, I believe, about the 33rd parallel. That number comes up all the time. Let's see. Let's see. Do you have any of those cool French hats for sale? Forgot what they're called, berets or something like that. Yeah, yeah, we have berets. I've got a bunch of. I mean, well, wear those in the U.S. military, so they're not all French, but or maybe they originated there. So you know more about that than I do. I don't know. But yeah, I've got a bunch of military covers, former army. But yeah, there's some berets. They're from like the. Here, you want to see a couple? I just happen to know exactly where they're at. BRB. So here, this is kind of a. This is more like a knitted kind of. I mean, since I'm speaking of religion, there's Notre Dame Catholic beanie. Let's see. Here's a knitted beanie. This one. This is pretty old school. This is vintage. This would be. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's 60s. That tag right there, 100% wool. It even says lamb on it. Oh, interesting. Made in Italy. 100% wool, made in Italy. Uh-huh. All right. So here's another beret. This is this is army right here. There's a beret. There's another army one. Just doesn't have a pin on it. So this is a lapel pin. This is from somebody's. I don't speak army very well. Somebody's unit, something. I don't know. We call them flights, squadrons, stuff like that. Yeah, here's another army one. This is just basic, yeah, standard stuff. Here's here's an airborne one. I'm just talking about this pilot the other day that was before he was an F-16 pilot. He was a paratrooper, airborne, ranger. I'm like, God, that guy has got to do well when he's just out and about talking to the ladies. And they're like, so what do you do? Well, I used to be an airborne ranger, but that got boring, so now I fly an F-16. And then I met our flight doctor. That guy is a full-time doctor, part-time F-16 pilot. Can you imagine that conversation? So what do you do? I do this. So this, here's another beret. This is, what does it say? Skillstorm Services Security Division. Here's one of those private security companies that, yeah, what's up with that? To wear a beret? That seems pretty military. What do these guys guard? Yeah, this could be awesome for some people just to like look up one of these companies and, oh, look at the symbol on it. Look at the symbol on it, little swirly symbol. Hey, thank you for asking about berets, because I get sent all kinds of different hats with symbolic stuff on it. So I'm not even going to say what that symbol is. A lot of you, or what it's similar to, some of you already know. So check this company out. Research that, Google that. Not Google it, do your thing. Here's another. I don't know if I'd call this a beret. This is more like a pillbox. Yes, sir. This is a pillbox hat. Pretty sure it's like felt. I believe it had some kind of attachment on the top here. Why is my screen okay? What in the heck? Oh, okay. It's all digitized out here. Hopefully you can see this. This one also, I would say, by the tag, it's from like the 60s. So, let's see, that's 60 years old. That's a 60-year-old hat. So, when I say vintage, we've got some more vintage stuff. One of the coolest hats in the collection actually is, I haven't dialed it into exactly how old it is, but my best guess is 20s or 30s. It's like a wool baseball cap. It's like an actual somebody wore on a baseball team from the 20s or 30s. It's got a leather band on the inside of it. So that one's probably literally a 100-year-old fitted baseball cap. Some guy with like a glove he just made out of his neighbor's cow. It was playing playing baseball. His cow glove, his hat from 1920s. No, they had adults making those gloves by then. That's that photographer guy I was talking about earlier. He had already he'd knocked it out, so that knocked out the child labor. So there was adults making gloves by then. But you know, if you still lived out in the country, you probably had to make your own cow glove. Uh, all right, I'm gonna go back to these. Bob Marley is your hero. Okay, I'll play you a Bob Marley song after this. Should I go get my ukulele? I mean, I'm doing a bunch of nonsense right now. Should I play some ukulele? Beastie Boy hat. Any Beastie Boy hats? No, I don't. The lyrics, slow and low. That is your temp. That is the tempo. Slow and low. Let yourself go. Slow and low. That is the tempo. That means quite a bit actually. You ever checked out the Beastie Boys album Egg Raid on Mojo or Moho? Mojo? It's when they were like a speed punk band before they came out with um, License to Ill. Manchurian Candidate. Yeah, actually, there's when they use the word Manchurian Candidate, there's all kinds of different I think levels to that. Like the more I research, the more it sounds like Obama was a Manchurian Candidate. Not the kind that's like Zoolander, not like Zoolander where he's gonna hear a word pop up and then take out the prime minister of Malaysia. More so like the a long term infiltration type Manchurian Candidate. There are no MK Ultra victims, says Sam Thomas. That's interesting because there was actually some documents released about the Church Committee, 1975. So I mean, unless all those people are dead, and you're referring to there's none now. So there's no more MK Ultra because we don't know what the name of the new programs are. It's MK whatever. Ask Michael Kors. I don't know. Um, Michael Kors has purchased items from me. Actually, they purchased this red purse. It was like from the '90s. Um, Metal handbag. Look for stuff like that sometimes. Be like, hey, $5. Oh, this one's designer. That was worth 1,200 bucks. My ex-wife taught me that. I actually did learn a lot from her about this kind of stuff. Learned a lot from her, as much as she tried to. Yeah, man, I don't even want to go into that anymore because now that I understand how much psyops change change your perception of reality. I know she did some things, but now that I understand, when I heard this amazing Polly talking about some of the different aspects of MK Ultra, the things that happened with Kathy O'Brien and somebody else who, what other video was I listening to? Anyway, they talk about how they do break the identities. So I was thinking that might have possibly happened to my ex-wife because I know there was a side of her that I loved, but then she did all this stuff too. But I think that might be part of the psyop to where the honey trap that's sent to you is the perfect person. They've been surveilling you for however long, and they go, okay, this would be his ideal person. Which, honestly, if I was really a psychopathic narcissist, I'm kind of a boob guy. I should not say this live. I like big boobs, and my wife didn't have that going. Uh, so I was like, you know, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I'll, I'll deal with. I mean, not deal with it, but that sounds like it wasn't a deal breaker. I loved her enough to where, like, you know what? Who cares? I don't have big boobs either. um, so they got that part wrong. But it's everything else pretty much right on money, and I think that's part of the psyop to give you exactly what you want and then rip it away from you and then remind you of it all the time. Not just that, but like a business or a vehicle or a job that you were proud of, or that's part of the long-term trauma. People that have enough power that can do this kind of thing and set these long-term trauma-based mind control events up. Uh, yeah, they can. People have more power than you think, folks. And you think, who can do that? That's in the movies. Just wait. Just wait. Somebody said Willis is awesome. Oh, there he is. He's laying down right there. So this says Kathleen O'Brien. Michael, would you be available for written oral interview? I'm much better with words than tech and video. Obviously, TI in the ATL. Right now, no. I mean, I don't. Is it? I don't think this is actually Kathy O'Brien. If Kathy O'Brien is trying to contact me, yes, say you're Kathy O'Brien. Um, but right now, I have court on. Sorry, you're over here. I have court on May 8th. I have a metric shit ton of work to do. I feel like crap. I have to keep all of my multimedia recording devices ready to go at all times in case something happens. Kind of like I'm deployed. Like I have to make sure that everything is ready to go all the time. So I just right now, and that was my goal when I started the Barden report, is to just have a bunch of people on and tell their stories and talk to them about it, help people network, learn something from them learn something from me. Just I always use Jason Goodman's the name of his show to explain what I'm trying to do, and so I always say Jason Goodman before I say it. But crowdsourcing the truth, like there's no better. I can't think of a better name for anything really. It's such a great thing to have. It should be in a dictionary. Um, Watch, crowdsourcing probably is in the dictionary, and I'm like, that should be in the dictionary. Oops, looks it up. Yeah, it's in like every dictionary, idiot. Anyway, if it isn't, it should be. Sometimes I think I'm funnier than I am. I know. I'll go back and watch some of these and I'll be like, that wasn't that funny. But then when I'm not trying to be, then it goes off great. Uh, yeah, Kathy O'Brien's story. I've been going through the comments here, and somebody mentioned Kathy O'Brien again. It's really worth listening to. The guy that saved her out of that is just really an amazing person. He's just awesome. To get somebody out of that, away from the people that she was basically, you're basically kidnapped. It's kind of hard to explain. You have free will to go where you want here and there, but I don't know if you've heard anybody. If you've heard if you've heard interviews with people that like escaped Scientology, it's not to that extent. Well, I shouldn't say it's not to that extent. It's past that, but in a different way. This might be part of Scientology. I don't know. I don't know. This person asked, "Do I have a daughter?" Yes, I do have. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have two kids. My son's 22 years old. My daughter just left for high school. I have to talk about my personal information on here. I'm watched 24/7. If something happens to me or my kids, it's going to be recorded. So, um, it's not that I don't fear that happening, but I do know that if anything does happen, that people are being watched. Not just me. That's why I'm not just completely freaking out anymore. Like last year, this time, a little bit more than last year, I was like the it's the end of the world guy. And now I've seen some things changing. I have more information. Um, and I've also come to the conclusion that, if there is something catastrophic that's going to happen, I'll just go out on my feet, instead of my knees. Just, hey, be happy, be proud of what I've done. Keep keep doing this as much as I can, working, keep doing videos, talking to people, meeting people, uh, making friends, making enemies, living life. That's how it goes. So somebody said go watch Jonathan Kleck. That name sounds familiar. I think my ex Kathy used to tell me to watch him. This person's screen name is Justin Time. Justine Time. Justine Time. So when I was a photographer in Fresno, I had my own business, Photo by Barden, and I was going around shooting all kinds of live concerts. Let's see, I think we were at the Taste of Chaos concert, this one, and I forget what band I was shooting, like Kill Switch Engage or My Chemical Romance or As I Lay Dying or one. No, they didn't play it, that one. Anyway, some band. This guy comes up to me and starts talking to me. Actually, no, you know what? I had met him. I'd met him before, but he comes up to me and asked me to borrow my lens. I don't know why I'm telling you this part of the story. It doesn't matter. What doesn't matter. Anyway, let me just, I messed that part up. Long story short, the guy's name was Justin Case. He's a photographer. His name is Justin Case. I was like, shouldn't you have brought an extra lens just in case? You borrow mine at a concert? What's up with that? And then I realized, aha, this is part of one of these weird skits. He was like fumbling around with it, acting like he was gonna drop it, and like wouldn't give it back to me for a while and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's distracting me from what I'm doing. And finally, I was like, forget, I'll just do my photos. Actually, you can if okay. So people that are new to my channel here, actually people that are old to my channel, I don't talk about this too much. I still have an old MySpace page with a bunch of my photography. If you look up MySpace, um, Photo by Barden, I had a MySpace page and I had all of my photos. I did all kinds of different photography, like from portraits to bands, skateboarding, all kinds of different stuff. And I had it in different folders. And MySpace upgraded or changed or something like that, and it took all the folders and just went, and all my photos are just like mixed in, so you have to sit there and like scroll across this way. But there's a bunch of photos on that MySpace page. If you want to check out any of my old photography, some of that stuff I was just talking about, those bands. So people can be like, this guy's delusional. Listen to him. He thinks he was a photographer at rock concerts. Listen to the weird TI. He thinks he was like hanging out on buses with people in bands, taking photos of him and stuff like that. Getting gang stalked by Kiss. This guy's delusional. So, thankfully, I've got photos of all of these places I've been. I think that one's on there too. Backstage with Kiss. The Kiss Army. Man, that means more than you know. Jillian, Jillian, what do you know about the Kiss Army? That's my ex-wife's name, Jillian. Somebody told me those guys are all from, where did he say? Syria, I believe. Israel, I don't know. What, they're not, oh man, I forgot. Oregon, Oregon, gang stalking is weird. Jordan, please confirm you can see what I'm writing you. Please, 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 please. I mean, I see that, but I don't know what else you're talking. If you, no, nope. Everybody wants to. Okay, so here's a good. Here, I'm gonna help you folks out. The way that they, one of the ways that they will steal your time is by having 1,000 people contact you and say, contact me, I will give you information on this. Here's how to just completely, really spread this out. Just turn your camera on. Doesn't matter if you're beautiful. Look at me. My face is drooping. I look like a crackhead. My eyes are dark. I shouldn't be in front of a camera. I should have like makeup and a suit and all the stuff I'm gonna present. Just get on your camera and talk about what's going on. If you want to send somebody a story, do that. Send them the video of it, because people get inundated with contact me, contact. If I contacted every person that said contact me, I would do nothing but contact people, and I can't do that. I have to do these hats, which I'm not doing. I'm sitting here talking on a live stream, which is great. I'm not complaining, but yeah, do that. I can't just contact everyone. So, man, there's are a lot of comments here. This is one thing I started, I think, almost 2 years ago now. Started smoking cigarettes. I'd never been addicted to cigarettes in my life. I'd smoked cigarettes here and there, like get-togethers, having a beer, whatever, smoke on the patio maybe, and then not smoke again for a year, whatever, and then going through when the wave hit, basically, I was just I just started smoking cigarettes. So I need to ditch this thing. And as I say that, well, thank you that you would attend my court date, but you don't have money for the bus ticket. I appreciate that. Anybody's welcome. Maricopa County Courthouse, 13th floor. Imagine that. Why do they even have 13th floor? I didn't even think they made that floor. Maybe they saved that one special for TIs. Uh, so yeah, 13th floor, Judge Herod, Herrod. Everybody, come on out. Come to the come to the court date. Huh. Okay, so this person just sent me their phone number. I'm pretty sure there's a way to private message somebody on YouTube. Just Google how to do it. You can send somebody a private message. That way you don't have to put your phone number out here for everyone. if that's actually, and I don't know, you know how this works. If you're targeted, putting your phone number out there might not be the greatest to add to your antagonization. All right, so this one right here says ban the military, not needed. Thanks. I disagree. I disagree big time. So like, you have to think of it as compartmentalization in large groups, right? So let's see. I don't want to get called out for being racist by using the wrong ethnicity here. So say you're an African American person. You're walking down the sidewalk. A white guy comes up and he just punches you in the face. All of the white people you've met before in your life have been friendly to you, but that guy punches you in the face, and now all of a sudden you go, all white people are assholes. You know, that's these programs are compartmentalized, and they might not even be all military. Sometimes deep state, black ops hire. Long story short, this is completely compartmentalized. There are compartments of people. There's so like you have the Marine Corps. There's people in the Marine Corps that are Democrats. There's people in the Marine Corps that are Republicans. There's kind of like some infighting, political kind of stuff going on you don't even see. There are programs that exist that 10 people in the Marine Corps know about that not one other person in the Marine Corps knows about. Same thing with the Air Force. Same thing with the Navy. Same thing with any large group. There's usually some smaller group that knows something is going on that the rest of the large group doesn't know about. Therefore, I'm never going to be anti-military. We need a Department of Defense. You have to defend yourself if we're going to be a nation. You have to defend yourself. We have to have security, but not security, not false security in the name of profit. Uh, so what what the issue is politicians will not grant federal funding to an organization if they aren't showing a need for that money. If there aren't fires in California, there isn't federal grant money. If there isn't a terrorist threat, there isn't federal grant money. If there isn't a threat of, or if there isn't crazy weather, there isn't federal money for those disasters. So if there's a way that that somehow we can figure out how to fund what we need and be proactive and think ahead and say, we need this for the future. We need this for posterity, not, all right, something happened, let's throw some money at it and then it'll get better. That's how we do things here in the United States. It seems like instead of, well, they're proactive with something. See, that's again, it's compartmentalized. It's compartmentalized. Things are done differently all over the place. Everything is objective, or everything is situational. I mean, so there's no ban the anyone, not even the police. There's so many police are involved in this. I'm sure so many targeted individuals just hate cops. They watch the movie NWA and they're like singing along, fuck the police, you know, like, and I've watched that movie and I sang along too. But I mean, there's cops that I'd like. There's still a buddy that I really respect that works in Fresno. He's a gang task unit officer. Grew up with him. There's people I work with that are well, all right, but you know, it's compartmentalized. So you can't. I think that's how they want you to get. They want you to get to the point where you're just anti-government, anti-police, anti-firefighters. You hate firefighters. You know, like who's going to listen to you? Like you hate everyone. So yeah, especially you. Imagine somebody that doesn't know this is going on, and you're like, firefighters are terrorists. You'd be like, well, you mean the guys that go cut people out of cars and like take little babies down ladders and help them out? You think those guys are terrorists? You're crazy. So they don't see the bigger picture. So you have to take a little bit longer when explaining yourself. In my opinion, no, not my opinion. That's how you need to do it while going through this. This person said their headphones fell out. Did you just say you were Jewish? No, I did not say that. I don't have a religion. I believe there's a God. If I had to pick a name for what I believe, there goes some users. Or I don't know. Okay, gives a shit. Um, the closest thing I've read that I can identify with is pantheism. Somebody's gonna be like, "That's a pagan thing," but I think that what it says is God is in all things, in all places, at all times. Okay, that sounds that sounds close enough. I pray. You should have heard me like 10 years ago. That wouldn't have been my answer. But again, I had a not good experience when I was younger in organized religion. So again, everything is situational. Whoa, I'm trying to read these comments. They're kind of there's 45 people here. Brian too. Man, you are either the smartest person in the world and they are attacking you relentlessly and you have unlimited money and time. I don't know, man. You leave the longest messages on my Facebook and all, like, how do you get the time, man? I mean, a lot of what you say sounds really on the point, but at the same time, sometimes you get a little pushy, and I understand, like, if you really know, like, if there's some kind of easy for me to say catastrophe about to happen, and you're like the guy trying to be like, "Come on, people, you gotta listen," and everybody's like, "Whatever, Dancing with the Stars is on, man. Shut up." I get why you're panicking. There's a reason. There's a reason to, but I can't go there right now with you, man. Uh, I'm sorry if it's that bad, because it can easily be that bad, as bad as Mr. Two is going through. Easily. If they want to turn all of them, it's like they've got a switchboard with a bunch of knobs. This one's like your personal life. This one's your personal items. This one's the directed energy. They're just like, okay, what are we going to be getting them with this time? It's like, it almost seems like Mr. Two's got like all the knobs up to 10. And if somebody was doing that to a person, they would rightfully so have a reason to be like that. But I don't know, man. I can't keep up with you. I appreciate you here watching. Uh, I don't know what I would have to say that you wouldn't already know. So don't waste your time on me, buddy. Figure out the algorithm or where all this stuff comes from and all that. Let me know and I'll report on it. I live in Arizona. I live in Avondale, Arizona, just west of Phoenix. Somebody asked me what state I lived in here. Henry Eberhart. Eberhart. Sorry, I need to read people's names here. So this person says it's mainly citizens on patrol. There's a bunch of them though. There's a bunch like Infraguard, uh, FBI, Secret Surveillance Group, uh, Citizen Corps. Did I say it? Whatever? There's a bunch of them.
Okay, Brian 2 says hypergame theory is a deadly game of eugenics based on mathematical model known as non-cooperative gaming theorem. Used two things: deception and manipulation. That's what this whole thing: deception and manipulation. 100%. Planting seeds in your head. You don't even know they're using neuro linguistic programming on you. They're talking. So one of the ways that they'll use neuro linguistic programming. Okay, thank you, Brian. One of the ways they'll use neuro linguistic programming on you is they'll have like a love interest contact you, and they'll have all these prescripted words to say in your conversation to gaslight you. So they'll be having a conversation, and they'll work all these words in um, to trigger you, to get you to think about certain things, to basically to manipulate your mind. You don't know when you don't know what's happening to you. It works pretty well when you understand how get a book on neuro linguistic programming, or just if you're targeted, um, just talk to. Nah, never mind. I won't say that. It's they basically have a conversation about themselves, but they let you know they're talking about you. It's weird. It's pretty bizarre when somebody does this to you. It is definitely not a normal conversation, and it's intended for you to know that they're telling you something. So, sometimes it could be good, like a way of code to tell to you know tell somebody something, but not if you're like going to be in a relationship or have an honest conversation with somebody. You know, that, so this Sam Thomas says, seriously, Mike, it's a sign from God that you were in the 144th squad. You were one of the 144th light workers. That is in the Bible and Revelation. That is in Revelations. You talk about the 144. Yeah, they talk about that. And I almost pointed to my hat. I'm with that one still. Yeah, I worked for the 144th Fighter Wing. A bunch of those guys just got fired for targeting whistleblowers for revenge. Yeah, um, it is kind of an odd thing. We used to get some weird phone calls when I worked in public affairs. So like when you call the base, when you try to contact anyone, the phone in my office would ring. Half the time I'd pick it up. You know, public affairs, unsecure line. This is Sergeant Barden. How can I help you? A river of evil? I'm sorry. Excuse me. What under the base? You want me to comment on the river of evil that flows underneath our base? You know, my clearance doesn't go that high. I would have to let me contact our public affairs officer. He's not in this. Hold, please. So that was just like one of them, uh, or this one. Public affairs, unsecure line. This is Staff Sergeant Barton. How can I help you? There's jets flying over my house. Yeah, where do you live? They give you the address. We look it up on GPS. They're like in the line of the runway. Like, okay. Um, could you tell us how long you've lived there, ma'am? Yeah, about 6 months. Yeah, the airport's been here for 50 fucking years. No, you couldn't say that on the phone, but that was a reoccurring call all the time, all the time. The jets are noisy. Yeah, it's a Air Force base. It's been there like well, since before World War II. Um, no, actually, it started after World War II. Damn, I should know that. I was supposed to be the base historian for a while. I should remember exactly what year our base started. But anyway, it'd been there for a long ass time, and these people would call in. The plane's flying over my house. Like that's the sound of freedom. But anyway, I should probably go. I'm having fun talking. I like some of these questions. Brian, Mr. Two, do you ever do a live stream like this where people can ask you questions? Because man, um, I know that this technology exists. I know that certain technology exists. It's been proven to me personally in my life. Either that or it's been the greatest. No, that yeah. Some of it is absolutely 100% technology. There's no other explanation. Um, and I'd even like to get on there and ask you a couple questions, possibly after I get through this court thing, because there's some stuff that hasn't been proven yet that sounds kind of wacky to people that haven't gone through this. But you should do a live stream, man, where people can get on here and ask you a bunch of questions because I can't hardly even respond to some of the stuff that you say because it's a lengthy conversation. Like just one of your comments could be like an entire 2 hours. Which wait, how long have I been on here? Okay, just an hour and 6 minutes. And there are 47 people here. Okay. Wow. Not even 8 o'clock in the morning. You guys are early risers. Either that or just from like a. Oh, you're in China? What are you doing there, man? Do you- okay, here's one of the. I mean, I just honestly speaking here, a lot of people wonder like how you have the money to travel all around the world because I'm not even sure if I can afford like a travel trailer right now and move to a piece of property so far out that there's no internet. I don't even. I don't know. That's just a question. I'm not saying anything negative about you. It's just like, what? How do you do that, man? And it may, you know what? Maybe it's none of my business. Maybe there's a way you have money. You did well earlier. You know, they don't just steal your entire bank account. So, but it's just a question that some people have raised. You don't need to answer that. I'm sorry, I shouldn't ask. Okay. Scrolling down the comments here. Okay. All right. I need to get to work. I've got my computer here reading these while I need to be doing doing this work. So, all right. So that was a live stream question answer slash commercial for my business. Hey, you got to multitask, right? I didn't multitask very well. I wouldn't be able to answer these questions and do all that. I got to pay attention. So, thank you for everybody. Thank you everyone for showing up this early. I'm gonna go make some breakfast. Maybe take a nap. I don't know. I got up at 3. Been up for 5 hours. Maybe about, nah, yeah. I'm gonna get some work done. All right, it's been fun hanging out with you guys. I damn, I try not to say that term, hanging out with you guys. A lot of times the covert threats will be like sent in the way of a comment or a compliment. Hang in there. Dot dot dot. You know, and you get 30 of those in one day. Hang in there, and they're what they're telling you is like hang in prison. It's not like, hey, keep up the good work. Uh, you know, half and half maybe. Some people don't even realize what they're saying. Hang in there. I say it. I say it. All right. Yep. Thank you guys all. Everybody have a great day. Go to Hats Around the World. Let's see. Yeah, I was gonna try to find a hat here to show you, but anyway. Oh wait, here's an interesting one. All right. I see all kinds of interesting hats come through here. This one says make, well, yeah, you can read it. Make Doc 29 again. What is that referring to? I mean, this is like a MAGA hat. Trump hat. And Trump's uncle got all of the Tesla documents. And some people say Trump can travel through time. Who knows now? You know, I've learned some stuff I never thought would be possible. Who knows? Who knows? Um, oh, it's just yeah, it's a like a Make America Great Again hat. Here, check it out. There's all kinds of. Here, I'll just take this off here. Yeah, I'll end on showing you some inventory. So this is what I'm working on. So ones I've separated. Got a pile of them over here. They're all different colors. No, that make Doc 29 again has something to do with Back to the Future, but it's a Trump hat. His uncle owned all the Tesla stuff. Had something to do with time travel. I don't know. There's all kinds of man. Amazing Polly needs to check that one out. That lady is a professional dot connector. So anyway, there's where they go after I get done with everything. This is how I've survived after being basically removed from the military. All right. Everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend.